Welcome to Texas in Color, where every shade tells a story. From the heart of the Lone Star State, host Ron Gordon spotlights the voices shaping our future. Leaders, artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday Texans making a difference. Real stories, real people, real Texas. This is Texas in Color.
Hotel family, peace. Assalamu alaikum. All these are various ways in which we greet each other. Of course, all of them saying we greet each other in the spirit of peace. Of course, we all realize that there can be no peace without justice, and there can be no justice without truth. So in all honesty, family, we greet each other in the spirit of peace, but truth and justice also. So let's try that again. Assalamu alaikum. Hotel. Peace. Now, first, my name is Andama'at. I am the co-founder of the Pan-African Cultural Community. We also have Ma'at Bookstore and more. And we have our Black History Tours. Now, all these programs are designed to bring us together to elevate our consciousness as Black people. So we invite all of us to engage in these programs. So if you enjoy reading, which we all enjoy reading, I know, and if we enjoy learning about our history, which I know we all enjoy learning about our history, and I know, family, we are people of knowledge, so we engage, we encourage us to take advantage of what we have in our community like today. Now, first thing, I want to do this. This is part of our tradition. We ask permission to begin. Now, it goes back to an African tradition that says, you go and ask the elders permission to begin. What you're really doing is like going to your mother and father and getting permission or getting their counsel before you move forward on a project, right? So in the tradition, you would go to the council of elders and you would let them know your thoughts, your plans, and they would encourage you to move forward if they thought it was good for us. And then sometimes they would tell us to just, sit down and be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't the time for that. So in that regard, for those who are 70 and above, if you would please stand. Don't be shy, family. There you go. Family, first let's give them a hand. And we ask permission to begin with the, do we have, thank you, Asante Sana. All right. Right. And then as a people, we also have a tradition, and that is that we are always, when we come together, we acknowledge the Creator, the sustainer and the maker of all life, for the great gift of life. And we bear witness that we have been blessed today with a great gift, life, family. And now we must choose to do something with that life. But first and foremost, we give thanks to the Creator, Ashe. And we raise up our ancestors because they are examples of what we should strive to do, the best of what they brought to us. Their wisdom through the words they spoke and through their actions, the things they did, we should take the best and model that example. So on this occasion, I just wanted to raise up, of course, we got the ancestors standing in the back, right? So we powerful family. We have Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, who said that knowledge is the prime need of the hour. Are y'all with me? Knowledge is the prime need of the hour, family. So we should all be seeking knowledge and then using that knowledge to elevate ourselves and our people. Ashe? And then, family, we said, Dr. King said the purpose of education is to develop intelligence and character. Intelligence and character. See, it's great to be intelligent, family, but if you don't have good character, your intelligence can be used against your people. So we must have intelligence, knowledge, and we must have good character. Ashe? And then Malcolm said, education is our passport to the future. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Family, we're here to talk about education because we need knowledge. Okay. See, I'm not going to, because I'm going to let the panel talk about all that, family. But the idea is, family, we need knowledge. Ignorance is killing us. So we want to put an end to ignorance. And we want to raise up knowledge and wisdom, and then the will to use that knowledge and wisdom. Ashe? Now, I'm saying all that. I'm going to get out the way in a few minutes, family. And that is to, of course, welcome everyone out to the Martin Luther King Business and Cultural Center. Family, this is a space and a place where we want to promote community and family, education and culture, and empowerment. Family, we need spaces in our community where we can come have open, honest, uplifting conversations. We need to have spaces where we can come together as a family and community and talk about those things that are important to us. Make plans for our future. And that's what we're having here today, family. This is a special space. I mean, it's not like big like the Tobin, but but it's special. Because this is our space. This is our place, family. So, and I just want to acknowledge Mama Linda, because she brought Mama Linda she was sitting over there. She's back over. But the idea is that this is a space that Mama Linda opened up to the community, and we just want to raise up Mama Linda and thank her for that. All right. And then last, family, I want to take a moment just to acknowledge Mr. Chris Dawkins for having the vision to call this meeting, family. Mr. Dawkins, we have conversations, and he had talked about, we was talking about education. And one of the things that came up in the conversation was that, look here, family, we all know our children are brilliant. Our children are geniuses. So it's not our children are failing. Our children are not failing in education. As a community, we are failing our children. Are y'all with me? So what we want to talk about today is how we can help ourselves, ultimately to help our children, and raise these young people to their full potential in the greatness they have within them. That's why we're here, family. So when Mr. Dawkins raised us up, and then he brought Brother Terrence in, and then Dr. Armstrong, and I just realized, family, this was ideal. And then we got this amazing panel here that's going to, going to share wisdom and knowledge with us. And from here, this is only the beginning, family. This is not the end. This is the beginning, hopefully, that we can take from what we learn from each other, and we can go out and bring up our children in our family and in our community. And then we're going to talk about, family, we want to have a follow-up, because, we meet one time, and it's good, because the spirit is strong, the information is powerful, but one time is not enough. We need to be coming together as often as possible, having these kind of conversations, talking about our future as a people. All right? So, now, with all that said, family, I'm going to bring up the moderator. Because Brother Travis, Dr. Travis Armstrong, has come into our community, has been a great benefit to our community, has, through his knowledge and his studies, have empowered us with a greater understanding of our history. But more important than that, you talk about intelligence, but I'm talking about good character. Are y'all with me? Because I know my brother is a good character. He's a good brother doing good things in our community, and he wants to see us do greater things. So we're going to be guided by our moderator, Dr. Travis Armstrong. And last thing, family, I want us all to bring our experience, our knowledge, and understanding to this conversation, because all of us in here truly are brilliant, and we're doing some powerful things in our community, and we need to let the community know what we're doing, especially those things that are beneficial and successful. All right? So this is a community conversation. led by our moderator, and he's going to introduce our panel. All right? With that said, family, Hotel Peace.
Thank you, thank you. It's great to see all these beautiful faces out here. Thank you all for coming. First of all, Mama Linda, thank you, ma'am, for allowing us to be in this space each and every week. So thank you so much, Baba Andar, and everybody who's part of this community. Thank you all for being here today. So, like Baba Andar said, my name is Travis, and I'm here to learn just like everybody else. You know, no matter where you go in life, you can always learn from somebody or anybody. Amen. So we can always do that. So I'm thankful to be here with this esteemed panel, and again, hopefully we can take out solutions. That's what we need, solutions, right? That's right. So I'm gonna begin right here with our esteemed rep, Miss Barbara Gervin Hawkins, Texas 120th District, right here in San Antonio. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. Let's give her a round of applause. Next, we have Brother Malik. Brother Terrence told me you were the life preserver. He said, the life preserver of education. No matter where he goes, education is going to be saved. So we're certainly glad to have him here today. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And last, certainly not least, we have Brother Brian Dillard. He's representing Essex Preparatory Academy. As you, come on, give it up, give it up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. As Barbara Andar mentioned, we're in a state of emergency with education. You know, if you look from the top down, from the Department of Education basically being gutted down to the states. And I read somewhere that Texas spends $4,000 less per pupil on their students from the national average. That's not good, folks. It's not good. So where is that going to leave our kids? Okay, so a very important discussion needs to be had, and ma'am, I'm going to start with you. What is your overall impression of education here in this district specifically?
As a legislator, it is our job to fund public education, establish the rules and the guidelines in education. What's been concerning to me, particularly as it relates to this district, is we truly have not met the metrics that we should. What was profound to me, and I have met with the principals and superintendents in the district, in SAISD, San Antonio Independent School District, only 6% of our students taking Algebra 1 was passing. 6% of our African American students. We are struggling in our schools. But I want to say this. Our struggle is not because of capacity and capability. Our struggle is based on many other factors. One, the school can't do it by themselves. The schoolhouse isn't the only place learning should be. That's number one. Number two, relevancy of the curriculum. How can a young man put his knee on the ground and knows how much everybody owes him, but he can't pass a math test? Okay? So we've got to begin to lend our voice to what the curriculum looks like and the materials that our young people are introduced. But to answer your question, we're doing very bad, and we need to do better, and we can do better. And I hope we leave here today with a beginning of some solutions and continuing these conversations, because I'm a big believer. Let's stop being victims, and let's be victors in this situation.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, absolutely. Give it up, give it up. Brother Malik, I'll go to you with that same question. What is your opinion of the state of education today for our kids?
The state of education today, first, I want to thank you, Brother Travis. I want to thank Pan African Cultural Community. I want to thank Organization for Black Unity. I want to thank Mr. Dawkins. I want to thank uh, Brother Terrence with Waxahachie Study Group Nation of Islam. I want to thank WSAN Radio for being here. And I want to thank each and every one of you who chose to be here to give us some of your precious time to listen to the words that we may have to share with you what we know that hopefully will encourage, empower, uplift, inspire, and motivate us to do exactly what we all know that we need to do instinctively because we're all gods. We don't need anybody to tell us what to do.
That's right.
When we wake up, we already know what to do. But we came here anyway to come and collaborate and hear and share. So I want to thank everybody that has something to do with putting this on today. Thank you so, so very much. The educational system is dead. It's flatlined 20 years ago. It is part of the white supremacist system that is slaughtering our children each and every day in the fields, in the schools. It's purposely, intentionally undereducating our children. So that's what the educational system is now. That's the state of it. It's dead. It's been dead. It's not going to be revived. The best thing that you and I can do is to infiltrate it, teach when our children come home. In other words, unlearn what they learned that wasn't right, and then we teach them what they need to know. Because for so long, a lot of our people believe that it was the school's responsibility to teach these children. So I just want to share something with us all today. It is not the school's responsibility to educate our children.
That's right. That's right.
It's ours. The word alma mater means second mother,
That's right.
if you break it down.
That's right.
Do you know who the first mother is? The mother of that child. So the responsibility first is every sister that hear my voice. It's your responsibility to educate your child. Now, you may say, well, brother, I have to work. I'm single. I have a job. I understand all that. And so does whatever God you believe in. But let me tell you, if we're not obedient to the Most High, if we're not obedient to the Creator, if we're not obedient to Allah, if we're not obedient to whatever it is, higher power we believe in, because I don't care what your religion is, you go study it and you will find out that the first responsibility of educating that child is with that woman. So if the person responsible is negligent in their duty, yes, we're going to get on the school system. But first, let's take accountability for the person who's truly, truly responsible, and that is the mother and that is the father. So,
Give it up. Direct and to the point. Absolutely. Brother Dillard, same
Yeah,
question.
so Brian Dillard, I'm the board chair for Essence Prep. You said 20 years. I'm going to go back 40. Poverty hasn't changed in San Antonio in 40 years. We talk about poverty so much. We talk about education so much. But we're trying to pivot within a system that is not built for us, which is why we started Essence Prep 5 years ago. We went in front of the State Board of Education, Akeem and I, shoulder to shoulder in the midst of conversations around CRT and the battle against that, the battle against DEI. And what were we building the school for? For black and brown children, and we were very intentional about that, and we didn't stay quiet about that over the years. I think that's really the thing that needs to happen now. A lot of folks are cowering to a system that has been just the same for 40 years, 40 plus years. So when I graduated Sam Houston High School right here on the east side in 2001, you know, we were 47% graduation rate at that time. When I came back in 09 from the military, guess what? We're about 52% graduation rate. Nothing had changed in a decade. And so that's when I started getting involved with the education system, trying to pressure our decision makers, our legislatures, to do the right thing and speak up. Be the strong ones in the room that need to say the thing that they don't want us to say. So I'm very sad to say that I agree. The education system has been in a floundering state for decades, and I don't know where we go from here. I do know our community has been stepping up over the years, but again, that community is working within a system that is not built for them.
That's right. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna stick with you. Follow-up question. Essence Prep, what's the status of Essence Prep right now?
Our charter has been, we relinquished our charter, so we will not be going into the new school year, unfortunately. The result of that was from, we had 3 years to turn around a community that had been failing for years. And we were doing this with the pressure of being focused in on black and brown students. Therefore, we had even double pressure on us. Among bringing in students, we didn't turn away students. Everybody likes to say that charter schools turn away students. Certain ones do. We don't turn away students. We took in students that were failing in other districts. They came into our district, and we improved those lives. We brought those families into our hallways, into school hallways they had never been in before. We had 3 years to turn around these lives, these kids that have been failing for years. 3 years isn't long enough. This year we're projecting a C. That would have put us in a success of being able to sustain, but we had 3 years. Other districts get 5 years. We got 3. There's a very intentional speaking here. And when it comes to the state, and this isn't against our state rep here, the state was very quick to shut us down. The state was very slow to support us. I'll leave it there.
Okay, all right, all right. And it's not lost on me. I drove by there one day, and right across 410,
It's your
there's that
detention
building,
center. That's your new detention center.
Yes, that's being proposed to be open
Yeah.
to house migrants
How
in
about
that
that?
detention center. So the juxtaposition is,
Oh, yeah.
is
Our students see that from
Yes.
our hallways.
absolutely, absolutely. Representative Hawkins, what is the state of the voucher program here in Texas? What impact is that going to have on public schools?
I don't think any of us really know. All right, there's a perception that it will destroy public schools. That's the perception. You know, I'd like to frame our conversation a little bit different because I think it's so important to understand the educational apparatus as we talk today. Okay, I think that's so important. So I'm a 31-year charter operator, one of the first 20 charter schools in the state of Texas, and we're still here. And I want to talk a little bit about why the success is there. And we started off as dropout recovery and has graduated thousands of young people. And now we're pre-K to 12th grade. So you can have success. And also I'm a big believer, and I know a lot of people, and I want to be real, you know what, I'm not going to be cautious,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? I'm going to throw it out there.
Yes, ma'am.
We talk about systems, but we're in a system. And so to me, we have to learn how to operate within a system and also operate outside of a system as well as create a system, okay? So schools can't survive if they can't work through the system. And so whether we like it or not, it is what it is, okay? So let's talk about the state of Texas. The state of Texas educational system right now today has what I call traditional public, public charter, and now the new voucher program. And we've always had our private schools out there, and then we've got the homeschool model. So there's different models as it relates to education. So that's under the umbrella of choice. Some folks choose to homeschool their kids. Some folks choose to work 3 and 4 jobs to send their kids to private school. Some folks say, I want my kid to go to where Uncle Joe went, and that's the traditional public. And some people choose to go to a public charter school. So me not being an educator, I'm a businesswoman who became an educator. What happened was when we started the George Gervin Youth Center, we were doing workforce development and helping young people get GEDs. And then we started doing a host of wraparound services. Education came because our young people that we were serving that got GEDs came to me one day and say, Ms. Hawkins, we want a traditional high school diploma. They had matured. They no longer wanted the GED. And so that's during the time frame of 1994, when the charter school movement became a reality here in Texas. And so once I heard about charter schools, recognizing that our young people could now get a traditional high school diploma, we decided to embark upon that journey. At that time, the startup funds was $25,000. Now the startup fund is close to $1 million. So it's a big difference, okay? So with $25,000 of startup funds, we started developing a school that would work with the young people that we had. And I'll tell you, we had what I call the big uglies: the tattoos, the piercings, the attitude, the leather jackets, and the whole 9 yards. But what we did was we built confidence in our young people. And that's a big part of education. Everybody thinks education is learning the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. Once you build confidence that a youngster, and you build a sense of pride, that's why your young leadership academies are so successful. It's the same kids, okay? But that sense of pride, that sense of high expectation has establishes how kids produce academically, okay? So in operating within the system that I didn't create, the key to it is knowing the rules of the game. What are the rules? If we can follow the rules, then we can play and we can win. So those rules for a charter school, a public charter, was making academic accountability, financial accountability, and operational accountability. There's 3 metrics you're measured on. So did we struggle in the beginning? We did. But once we knew the rules of the game, we were able to fine-tune our delivery and help these youngsters do what they need to do. Because education in in public schools in general, traditional public or public charter, is not just about proficiency, it's also about growth, moving the needle on students. So you can get a lot of points just on moving the needle. So for us, making sure you hire the right people, you put the right systems in place, and you know what the rules are and you follow the rules, and that's how you survive. People do say, charter schools, they select kids. That's a lie, because you have open enrollment. But we know this, be it traditional public or public charter, there's bad actors anywhere you go, okay? And so you're going to get those charters, but that's not, I would say, the majority. So when we think about the vouchers, which is your question to me, is we don't know because we never had it before. It's my understanding through the research, though, the voucher programs in states that adopted it grew very, very, very rapidly, and has hurt some of the resources that come to schools, okay? Now, in the state of Texas, we sitting on nearly a $40 billion reserve fund. So if the will was there to put more funding in schools, okay, it could happen. But the will isn't there. And when I said early on, let's not be victims, but let's be victors. We got to figure out how we navigate through this system of understanding. Now, the vouchers. I voted against vouchers. It came up 4 times, and I voted against it every time. And I continue to vote against it for this reason. There's no accountability associated with it. So those vouchers were created to take care of, what's the big church out of 281? Cornerstone. So Hagee didn't build those big buildings to stay vacant, okay? So it's funding his school initiative. The Catholic schools, St. Gerard's here, closed down due to lack of students, lack of funding. Now they can reapply. It's up to $10,000 per pupil, okay? No accountability. No academic accountability, no financial accountability, no operational accountability. That's problematic because they are spending public funds, our taxpayer dollars, but with no accountability. Now, we can say they're going to destroy public schools. Personally, I doubt it. They don't want Taekwon and Shaniqua, y'all. Private schools don't. That's just the way it is. Okay? Private school has this aura of hierarchy, correct? So they're not going to grab the ones, the youngsters that we love and care about and need to promote. So I don't think they're going to destroy public schools, but that's the word on the street. Okay. The other piece is this: we can create our own private schools. Okay. When we talk about a system, let the system benefit us and not be victims. Okay. So I want to use something that they put out there for their buddies, okay, and say, why can't we use it instead of continue throwing rocks and just saying, woe is me? I'm sorry I answered that long, but I had to give it some context.
Yes, ma'am. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And as Dr. King said, and where do we go from here? Chaos and community. We have the resources, but we lack the will in a lot of places. So, Brother Malik.
Representative Hawkins, go ahead. You have something else?
I just want to ask, how have you all been so successful? What's the secret to you all being so successful in your academics?
I definitely willing to share everything that I know. Listening to Representative Hawkins helped me to see so many different things, and she's absolutely correct. We do not want to have a victim attitude. We would never become who we're destined to be with a victim attitude. Right. I know in the scripture we've learned that Jesus was in the world, but he wasn't of the world. Is that right?
That's right.
That's all I heard was his word as the representative was talking. And it's so important to understand the power that we do have. This is my 30th year in education. This is my 16th year starting my own consulting company. But real quickly, I want to walk you through how this all happened. I am a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I joined the Nation of Islam when I was a junior in college. And before that, I had a friend of mine who introduced me to the minister, and it was a VHS tape. I'm telling my age now. But from that day to now, it changed my life forever. And I'm saying that because I'm going to build up on it in answering your question.
Yes.
So as a young man in college, I born and raised in this city from the most notorious project that you all know, Wheatley Courts housing projects on the east side. So I hope this suit don't fool you, okay? So my wife and I have 7 children. 7. Not one of those 7 children ever set foot in a public school. All 7 graduated high school between the age of 13 and 14 years of age.
Wow.
Went to college with honors.
Brag on it. Brag on it.
And I want to make this point very clear. That's one of them right there, a biomedical researcher degree. Right there, that's one. The second one next to him is in sales. He's not physically here. Next to him is the third one, which is to my left, your right. She has 2 degrees, one in fashion marketing and one in fashion design. After her is the one that's filming me right now. He wanted to be a barber. He played with barber stuff early on, and so what I did was I went out and bought him a for real barber chair, because when our babies say they want to do something, they know what they want to do. So we got to support them and be serious about what they do. Now, here's the point that I want to make now about what I heard in your question. My job is to prove that God is real. I don't like talking a lot. I like for you to see what I'm saying. So I asked my wife, I said, listen, let's come up with a plan so the last 3 of these 7 children, they don't ever have to depend on this enemy for nothing. What that means is she and I have to come together, work together, and create a system, create our own economy so that we can truly do self-determination and show our people that it can be done. So, those three, we agreed. If one of them wanted to be a doctor, they could go to college, but we was just going to fund what we were going to pay for them to get the knowledge from the doctor, and they get the knowledge, but you can keep the degree. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? How else will I be able to talk and show our people what self-determination looks like if we're not at least trying to do it, collectively or individually? So now, when you talk about vouchers, the state of Texas owed me and my wife a gang of bread. Because we didn't get no money all them years we was homeschooling them children and not asking the school district for nothing. We didn't ask for books. We didn't ask for anything from the district. I was a teacher my first 12 years, 97 to 2009. So because I knew what I wanted to do, everything I can see, hear, taste, touch, smell, and feel had a different meaning because I knew exactly what my purpose was. So, making this story short, I sit in front of you as a husband of going on nearly 30 years, a father of 7 children who were homeschooled, so I know what our power really is. Now let's flip that side and go to the public school. While I was teaching in the public school system, you had all kind of policies and laws. You can't give a child less than a 50. So in other words, if you show up to class, don't write your name, don't do nothing, the report card says 50, right? I can't put nothing less than 50 in the grade book. Well, you and I know that that's bad math right there. So how do I get around it? Talk about being in the system and finding out how it works. I'm old school. I call your mama directly. Hey, I got to give John his 50, but I just want you to know it's really a 17. And here's what I'm going to need you to do to help me help John to get what I know he needs. I need you to do your job. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to stay later. You make sure you bring him later. I'll come up on Saturday. You make sure he get there on Saturday because the school system is not paying for me to do that time. That's me giving that time. My point is sacrifice. We're not going to overcome what's happening to us unless we are willing to sacrifice. Most of us don't want to sacrifice because sacrificing brings about a certain inconvenience with it. See, I would love to have been home on Saturdays from 8 to 12 with my wife and my children doing fatherly things, husband things, right? But I was committed to this group of black and brown children who I already knew was failing. See, what we don't know is we get all of the data on all of the children in advance. The children are so wise now, when you tell them if you don't pass reading in 3rd grade, they laugh at you. Man, please. Everybody in 4th grade right now failed the same test you telling me about, and they went to the 4th grade. It's a game. And they found out the rules to the game. The rule is I really don't have to pass this STAR test. You can go back to tax, you can go back to TOS, you can go back to whatever it was before then. It's still the same. So inside the system, we're going to be undereducated. The only solution is for us to close the gap, fill in the gap, and make sure that we do as a community whatever it's going to take, making a sacrifice to get our children what they need to overcome all of the stats that we know that they're talking about. Now, the second one, real quickly, I have an acronym that answers this question perfectly. We all have heard a saying, I gotta get mine. M, money, right? We all need it to survive. Now, the scripture tells us that money answereth all things. Is that right? Come on now. Let me tell you, though, Money, it does answer all things, but money is not the answer. I'm going to say that one more time. Because all the professionals going to college, getting degrees, PhD degrees, masters, bachelors. Well, if that was really the answer, why are we still in this condition? It's quite clear that them degrees is not the answer. Certification, teacher certification, clearly that's not the answer. Because if you're in a classroom with a certified teacher and 80% of the people are failing, that's not the answer. So what is the answer? The answer is we got to stop trying to get mine, the money, the mismanagement of money. That's the M. The I, intentional ignorance. We all grown professional and we know what's wrong, but we intentionally decide to entertain the ignorance in the presence of the facts. In Negro mindset, that's a big one. Because if we know that we're being undereducated and we know that the system is not designed for us, then a compliant mindset is only going to compound that problem. We need some revolutionary mindsets. We need some liberating mindsets. We need some self-determined mindsets. And so I shared that first part of my story to show that that's why we're successful. Because I was a part of that system. I come from that system. But I grew up to learn that the system was against me. And when I learned that the system was against me, I created my own. That's what every wise creature, everything in creation does. You have never seen a bird in a worm line. Meaning that foxes have holes, birds have nests, but the Son of Man have no place to lay his head. What is the word trying to tell us? We have to do for ourselves, brothers and sisters. We cannot depend on our enemy to provide what we need to win this war. It's never, imagine this. I'm at war with you, but I got to call a timeout so you can sell me some bullets.
All right, Brother Matt.
That's what we look like when we totally depend on something that does not want us. We have to sacrifice, take the little that we have, create small, start small, not be bourgeois. Start small. It's amazing how people who come from poverty get a little money and now they just so bougie. Man, you better go back to eating sandwiches every day. If we really want what we say we want, we'll pay the price. Absolutely. And the price is a sacrifice. Yes. A sacrifice of time, a sacrifice of resources, a sacrifice of energy, and a sacrifice of all of the little dollars that we have. Yes. That's how we're successful.
Thank you. Brother Dillard, what's on the horizon for, are you guys planning to take Essence Prep in another direction?
Yeah, so we're discussing that as a board right now. We obviously won't be a charter school anymore. We are exploring some opportunities to develop into a private school. But initially, we're going to start off with some year-round programming to utilize the facilities, utilize our students that we have. We're working with some other districts to make sure our students are placed in the right spots. We're not trying to, intentionally guide them in any direction. We want our families to continue to succeed, but we're still going to be in the community. I'm born and raised Wheatley Courts as well. I'm Lamar and Walters right there. Went to Wheatley Middle School. I live on the east side again now. I've been a homeowner over there since 2013, so I'm not going anywhere. And I don't get paid to be board chair. This was all a sacrifice. This was a volunteer. This was our opportunity to try to, kind of not exploit the system, but work our way through the system with the intentionality to serve the students that we knew needed to be served and the community that needed to be served.
Yes, thank you very much. So all three of you are outside of the system in regards to academics. So what do you tell the community about how to get their kids into your schools and to look at public school as an alternative and to be in that area where they can get training more than education? because I think that's missing as well.
I'll keep this short, Rep, and I'll hand it over to you. But our first inclination was not to start a brand new charter school. We wanted to work with SAISD and build in an in-district charter with them. We were told no 3 times over the past 5 years, which is understandable. Their board doesn't really want to team up with charters as much anymore. There's a lot of politics behind that. But I say all that to say, I'm not guiding our students in any direction. If they want to go to a traditional public school, hell, I went to traditional. I'm on the board for SAISD Foundation. Like, I support every single school that supports our community and supports our students in the right way. Now, you asked me this 10 years ago, I'd have been said to hell with SAISD. But they have transformed in the ways that they needed to transform. I'm sad Alicia's not here with us, otherwise she could speak directly to that. I'm very proud to have her as board chair of the SAISD board and to be the board trustee for our side of town. So I just wanted to clarify, we're not necessarily competing with traditional public schools from our end when it comes to SS Prep.
And the same thing here. We're not competing with traditional public school or anyone else. We're serving a niche. But also, I'd like to talk to Brother Muhammad a little bit of his comments. One of the things I think we've got to look at is where we are today, y'all. Where we are today. I'm a big believer in short-term and long-term plans. We have to be realistic in terms of capacity of a lot of our families, okay, who don't have the brilliance that you and your wife has demonstrated, okay? Not to say they can't get it, okay? Not to say they can't get it, but they don't have that brilliance. And so we have to be realistic. So the public school model, the charter school model is something that I think can work. But we've got to navigate it in a way that works. So I'm not looking for outside of that, okay? You know, we have a law that says all school-age children should be in school. You know, parents can go to jail if you don't send your kids to school unless you opt out officially, So I doubt if 95% will be opting out. So that's a system that we're in. Okay, so that's the water we're drinking. Now, what we've got to look at in terms of our traditional public schools and our public charter schools is how we as a community can step up and began to create what I call community-based learning centers. Community-based learning centers is making sure that we take education or we support education outside of the schoolhouse. So let's say, for instance, here in this location, we had a community-based learning centers where we use our brilliant young people to be peer tutors to our young people that are struggling, okay? Now, they're seeing folks who look like them, who have that youthfulness like them, and they say, I can do this. And they begin to believe in themselves again. So I'm a realist in terms of what we really can do. Once we begin to build those generations of academia and people, then we can start talking about stepping outside. But right now, I don't think is the time. We have to work within this system that we have. So if every civic group, and there's quite a few, as you know, adopted a school and took that school and said, we're going to work with the students in that school to make sure that their attendance rate goes up, their academia knowledge goes up, because not only do we have to teach the 1, 2, 3s and ABCs, but we have to teach comprehension, understanding, and context of things. So for me, that's what we have to start looking for as a community. If you ask me today, what could we do today? And that is creating those community-based learning centers across this district, okay? As well as young people are into fads. So if education becomes a fad, right? Now we're speaking more about it, people become more interested. You know, just like reading. Because my concern is, and I know technology, it ain't coming, it's here. But we still don't need our young people to depend 100% on technology. They still have to learn, still have to understand the value of research and finding answers for themselves. So if I had my magic wand, I would fund community-based learning centers across this district that are working with our young people, reinforcing what traditional public and public charter schools are doing. That's what I would do. And that's doable because we have the resources, and I put forth a bill last session. Uh, it didn't go anywhere, but I'm not giving up.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, you brought it right back to why we're here today about community and what can the community do to inform us. I'm gonna go to the crowd. We have some educators in the crowd. Uh, yes, sir.
You said, I have to be quiet sometimes but you said what is important. I'm a former superintendent, and I was a superintendent in the St. Louis area, and it was a school district that was, they said there's nothing you can do with it. Nothing you can do with it. And I got it by mistake because I called my brother who was living across the river there, and you probably know about East St. Louis School District. It was an East St. Louis School District in St. Louis, right? And he said, Bruce, he said, my name is Bruce Smith. He said, oh, you'd love it. You'd love it. Go to Normandy. You'd love Normandy, all right? I went to Normandy. Ladies and gentlemen, I cried when I saw what they were doing to the black children. 97% African American. They had nothing. What draws me to say this, one of the things I knew, communities are known by the schools they keep. And bad communities have bad schools. And so we went on that premise, went to the community. The school, 97% African American, and there were 17 schools in that county. We were number 16, not at the bottom of the 17. The 17th one, we were 97%, but that 17th one was 100% black, okay? So that was the expectation, that this Normandy was not going to do anything. But we went to the community. Community had not passed a tax levy in 25 years. Schools were terrible. But there were a lot of great kids in the school. So what we decided was to do some things in the community that would involve the parents, and this is why I raised my hand. We started doing things to say, how can we get the parents involved? Because this is what the schools belong to. And we had, one of the things we came up with was that we had red cards. And we give the red cards to the principals. And if a parent came in and you solved the problem, you said to the parent, did we solve your problem? And the parent said, yes. You gave them the red cards. Will you please tell 3 people that we helped solve your problem? And every time, and then we had meetings every month for the people who received the red cards. So you had these parents who had a popular, because this was majority black, but it was in St. Louis, which was majority white, okay?
Mr. Bruce.
And so, yes, I'm
if
sorry.
I may.
You have a timeline?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
If you
okay,
make
I'm
your
sorry.
questions succinct, comment if you would.
Well, the comment is, I get back to the point. The community has to save the schools. The community I live in is 80% minority, and this is Judson. There's only one minority on the school board. There are no other males on the school board. So the community in Judson does not represent the people that they serve. And so something has to be done.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Dojini Smith, and as a retired educator, I liked what you were saying about, especially about the community. My church has what's called a One Church, One School program. We have been asked, every church in our community across the United States has been asked to adopt a school. And it's a mentorship program. One of the mentorship programs that we do is in honor of Dr. King. It's called the Dream Keepers Workshop. We have children that we mentor. We teach them how to get along, peaceful negotiations, and all of that. But what we want to do is get into the schools like you were talking about, doing more mentorship with the program. We had talked to the vice principal, and I think it was Douglas, and they are closing. So I would like to get with you and learn more because I'm one of the leaders in this program at my church, and I know we need to take it into the community. So I'm here, my church is here, so let's get together, please.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Solutions. Thank you very much, ma'am. In the back.
Hello, can you all hear me? Okay, permission to speak from the elders? Okay, I'll try to be brief. My name is Yahaida. I am 36 years old. I consider myself a timeless being, but this is going to be important for what I'm about to say. I really do appreciate what you were saying, Baba Muhammad. I don't have any children, but I have been an educator since 2012. I've worked in San Antonio ISD. I've worked at Pickett Academy before it shut down. Worked in Houston ISD, and now I work as a birth doula. But before that, I was an international school teacher. So, I'm sorry, but I'm very passionate about this subject, and I know that we all are. But like the way that things have been, Mama Hawkins, I believe, is dead. That is an old system. And the quicker that we can be okay with that, the quicker that we can move forward. There's this aspect of dismissive language when people start talking about homeschooling their children, that everyone can't do it or that it's unrealistic. But Baba Muhammad literally said that he did it. And he did it through years. I don't know the man. This is my first time here. So thank y'all for this amazing, amazing, amazing event. But it is realistic that every parent can homeschool their child. That's a fact. And if you were to ask me what the solution is to our problem, vouchers is just like the new hot button topic to talk about. But I'm sorry, y'all, it's not going to get better in America. And we have to let our children know that it's not going to get better. So if you're going to stay here, my advice to you would be to homeschool your children. Everything should be done at home. We give birth to our children at home. We homeschool them. We school them at home, and we die at home. That's the only way that you're going to make it here in America. My suggestion, though, if you can, get out of America. This is not the place to raise your children. As much as we want it to be, it's not going to be, from what I'm seeing. And I'll wrap this up. I have one more point. So people are talking about school closures and all of that. There's the 3 reasons why schools are closing. Number 1, people such as myself, this demographic being 30, 36, under 40, we're not having as many children. And the reason why we're not having as many children is because it's not a safe environment for us to raise children. So I would like to have children in the future, but right now I'm not going to have those children because I live here in America. Once I leave, I'll have those children. The second reason why schools are closing is because people are deciding to homeschool their children more. So the voucher situation doesn't matter. And lastly, people are leaving. So if you want to stay here, I suggest you homeschool your children. If not, leave America. Africa and the Caribbean is open. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Hold on, Mr. Bruce. Hold on, Mr. Bruce. Hold on, Mr. Bruce.
That school, when people got involved, went from 18th out of 19th to number 6 because of the children. So I want you to know that's what happened when people got involved.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
I have a question for the panel, actually. And I appreciate everything that everyone is saying, different angles of attacking the problem, different solutions, homeschooling and whatnot. I've been knowing that Brother Muhammad since he was in the Wheatley courts playing in dirt. So with his brothers, and I'm proud of him and everything he's done. And if his kids has done the things, that's great. But my thing is, everything that we talk about in here, how do we disseminate that to those? Because it's only 60 people in here. We got a whole community. How do we disseminate the information and the solutions that we're talking about to those people out there that need to hear it? That's no matter what we talk about in here. I want to know, how do we get that out? That's what the question I want y'all to answer.
Thank you.
From my perspective, because people have become so disenchanted, okay, we've got to have some solutions that's realistic and help people become believers. So we've got to be a model of success. It's hard for people to jump on board of something that they haven't seen work. So I think starting small, showing the successes and helping people become believers is the way we take it to scale.
I want to say first, in response to Representative Hawkins and to the audience, if my statement appeared to sound like I'm against public school, private school, charter school, that was not my point. So if it did, I apologize. That wasn't my point. My point was exactly what the sister said. I'm a consultant. I work with public, private, and charter schools all over the country. We have 4 schools in Ghana that we work with currently. So I'm not against the public school. I'm against black and brown children being uneducated wherever they at. That's what I'm against. I don't care where they are. That's number one. Number two, the solution that I shared was because I wanted to set the standard that we are supposed to have. And that's a big part of the problem now. We relax the standard and everybody settles for mediocrity, and we never end up overcoming the problem, because the problem cannot be overcome with mediocre acting, thinking people, okay? So I'm not against the public school. Again, I have contracts all over the country with public schools, charter schools. We successfully turned them around. We recently, in the state of Maryland, turned around a school that had F's all the way down through. And now, in 2 years, they're performing at a much higher level with the same kind of St. Louis example that you said. So no, I'll go anywhere my people are. So that's the first thing. Now, disseminating the information, that's my brother Kevin Lewis back there. I knew who he was when he walked in. It's such a great honor to see you, and we got to talk after this. The way you disseminate the information is you use modern technology. It depends on who you're talking to. My children always tell me, Dad, Facebook for old people. You got to get on IG. So everybody's somewhere. But we got to use all the tools necessary that we have to get the word out. Right now, social media is the probably most effective way to get that out, because everybody's on the phone. The second thing that I love is going in the community, knocking on doors and talking to people and sitting in the living room. That's what helped me to be a successful teacher, because when they gave me my school list for the upcoming school year, I went and knocked on everybody's door. Now imagine, I'm sitting in your living room on a couch with a hole in it and it's a board holding it up, drinking Kool-Aid out of a mayonnaise jar in your living room. When I say I'm gonna call your mama, that hit different than somebody else that ain't never been to your house. So the grassroots approach, the guerrilla marketing approach, that's really where we're going to find our greatest giants, because that's where the sacrifice is automatic. They understand that because of where they are. So we have to be all the way down in the streets, as they say, and all the way to the top, to the suites. But that social media will get the information out for sure.
Thank you.
Just real quick, I'll just say utilize frontline staff from other partnerships. So we've got a lot of organizations that service, whether it's medical, digital inclusion, education, et cetera. Utilize those partnerships. Don't place yourself into an exclusionary role to protect your own organization. Support other organizations. That way your messaging is streamlined. That way you can pass that messaging along directly to who needs it.
So I am a 30-year educator. I started my career with Barbara Gervin Hawkins. And the reason why I started my career is because I graduated from University of Texas in Austin, had a double degree, and I still could not get an actual employment or any an interview at any school as an African American man. Right now, if you look at SAISD, SAISD has two African American male principals in the actual entire district. So that's why I believe that the representation for SAISD does not actually represent us as well as our community. They have totally gutted the actual feeder pattern here in SAISD. There is no feeder pattern. There is no actual schools that feed into Davis or Sam Houston anymore. We don't have any elementary schools where I can send my sons to at all. So we go to private school. But my taxpayer dollars still go to support SAISD.
Double tax.
So my whole thing is it's really interesting, and I don't knock actual charter schools. I owe my actual educational starting career to Miss Gervin Hawkins. She was one of the only charter schools where you can go, you can pass a kid that's smoking a cigarette on the way to school. By the time he gets to school, she doesn't turn him away.
Right.
Every other school in the SAISD, you smell like smoke. Hey, you may be a little bit high. Okay, no, you can't come in my doors. Miss Gervin Hawkins was the only place where a kid can go and have a safe community and still get lunch or dinner or all three meals when I worked there at that time. So I think that representation is very, very important, but also understanding the legislative process is important because these community centers that she's talking about, those are actual hot buttons on the voucher system. Where if you have an LLC, you set up a community center, those actual dollars can be strictly funded for your community center. So we have to educate ourselves to the legislative process before we start to say, you know what, we're just going to throw the actual baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
Because the infrastructure is there, but we just need to learn how to work within the infrastructure.
Right.
And if we don't, I know everybody wants to public homeschool their kid, but homeschooling is for people who actually have, number one, the knowledge, number two, the actual know-how, and let's be real, our literacy rate in District 2 is the lowest in the city. So I'm going to employ my young man to stay at home or to have a homeschool network with someone that has a fifth grade education level. That is, you're asking, that's educational suicide. So if we don't have the people to be put in place to homeschool, we don't have, everybody's not educated. I know I'm very fortunate. My mom did a lot of late nights to put me through school. But I know that's not representation of my family because out of 12 actual grandkids, I'm the only one living right now.
Wow.
And I was raised right down the street on Ferris right here.
Yeah.
Sister Linda is my cousin. My mom has 6 brothers. All 5 of them are dead. So I understand, okay, let's homeschool, let's overthrow the system. But right now, I can't overthrow the system and then tell my young man 18 years later, hey, I may have made a mistake because I didn't have enough time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that powerful testimony.
I think. Hello? Is it on me? Hey.
Hold on.
Oh, no.
Mama Linda.
If y'all don't let me speak, I'm going to turn the
Mama Linda,
utilities off.
go ahead, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not greetings. I was only teasing. Greetings. I'm Linda Richardson, and I was born and raised in this community. I was born and raised in a black hospital. Who's ever heard of Good Samaritan Hospital? Oh, all of y'all's hands needed to go up. Do y'all know where Church's Chicken is on New Braunfels? Behind that was Good Samaritan. Black doctors, how about that? And so y'all need to know your own history. Ashwa Quasia, Griot out of Dallas always say, what do they know about you that they don't want you to know about yourself? I can ask y'all about Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of that. you'll know it and want to pronounce it correctly, but know your own history. That was just a preview. Now, let me go. I was born and raised here. I've lived in this community since I was 5. And what it was that whole concept of each one teach one. My family is from the Sweet Home community in Seguin. Seguin. Okay, there you go. Okay, there you go. Well, my parents, first generation off the farm, and a lot of them, because they had to go into the military, closed the farms down, they ended up having to come to San Antonio. And this community was sad. It was sad. It was flooding all the time. We got sick from the conditions here. Everybody had asthma. When they filled up Dory Miller School, they built James Whitcomb Riley. Now watch this. Any of y'all ever heard of James Whitcomb Riley? You better save him, Brother Burnett. But you could go to that school just before they recently closed for renovation, and nobody, none of the parents, not people on the board or anybody, knew of Virgil Walker. Virgil Walker was the first principal, and he taught us. He made sure we were connected, just like what y'all are saying on the panel. Reverend Eddie Cunningham, he would come and check on us at school. If we didn't show up, my aunt, my cousin, and the people who say they were my aunts and cousins would come over to the school and don't act a fool. They'll preach about you in Sunday. We had a feeling of we didn't want our vices known. But we didn't know all of our teachers had some horrible vices also. They showed us how to portray ourselves in very dignified manners, and they taught us. Now, my mother worked 11 to 7 at Brady Green Pediatrics Emergency. So how was she going to be able to do anything for us? My father worked at Alamo Ironwork, and so there was not enough time. But there were 7 children, and we were taught always that we, the older ones, had to teach the younger ones. That was our system. I always wanted my mother at PTA meetings because I heard the other children's parents went. My mother said, whatever you do, when you grow up, you go to the PTA meetings. They're necessary. When I had my children, I had them later in life, and I sent them to the Organization for Black Unity. They created a school called New World Learning Center, and they went there every day. Now, your children may have gone to school 5 days a week. My children went to school 6 days a week. I know, yeah, y'all excited now, aren't you? But we didn't have money to pay for a janitor. We didn't have money to set up the compost, but we did have a garden. All of our children were master gardens. All of our children are certified lifeguards. All of our children graduated, and only about 2 of them didn't go to a historically black college. They knew how to buy black. They knew how to deny themselves many things, and they knew how to take care of their community. And so what happened to the Organization for Black Unity? We got caught up, the parents and the families got caught up into material things. Because we didn't, you said, well, where did you get your money from? We paid for it. I had 5 children. Now, all of them wasn't mine. My nieces and nephews, because we had single parents in the house, we paid for private school. Baba Phil Johnson, retired master sergeant in the military, said, if you want it, you pay for it. And everybody wanted a private, freestanding African American school, but everybody didn't want to pay for it. The largest we ever got to be was 30 students, but our children all graduated from college. The other thing is, our children never made D's and F's. Some of them dropped low. Who said it's a 17U brother? Our children did that, but it didn't come on a report card because the child would have to stay at school late in the evening while Baba Field balanced the checkbooks. They had to keep learning it. And they say, our children know how to do this. And if you are too busy working and trying to take care of the family, then we will stay late and teach the children. But we don't have that same attitude. Baba Field also taught the parents. It was mandatory. Parents had to go over there and be taught what is happening in the world, the threat of technology taking over your children's mind, parents doing fundraisers. And I would like for y'all to know that we sold 400 fish dinners, right? Y'all know y'all been eating fish and enchiladas from Mama Linda. We were supposed to sell 400 dinners. I sold 75 because I knew education was so important. And I hear people now say, our church gave me 5 tickets to sell. And then they gave 2 back. Baba Phil would say to us, oh, I'm so sorry, you can't sell them. And he said, but can you go ahead and pay for the tickets? And they hated him for that. But the school stayed there. Now, our school has recently closed. We had a museum, restaurant, and everything. But right now, this is the 50th year, and he never got paid a penny. He has transitioned now. But I'm bigger and better and badder since knowing Baba Field. And I thank y'all. Y'all are so welcome to do things in this community building. I do want to say this building used to be our first community convenience store. This was our thrift store, convenience store.
Thank you, Mama Linda. Thank you. We're running short on time, and I want to give panelists final thoughts. We'll take 2 more quick questions.
I got
very quick.
I got one real quick. Piggybacking, thank you, Mama Linda, for your service to the community. Piggybacking off of her and the brother, by his own admission, he said that he couldn't get a job. They won't let us in. That's just period. So you have to create our own. That's why we lead our own learning institutions like OBU. The thing is, it has to mimic the house. Because we're not going to get everybody to homeschool. I homeschool some of my children. It was the best thing. Then I'm going to go back to the brother when he says about the knowledge. Well, what knowledge are we talking about? See, because that's the whole thing, too. Yeah, all this state-run stuff, all this state by-the-book stuff, we need to change the knowledge that these children are getting. Because look at what's going on. They've been getting the same knowledge this whole time, and what are we doing? Situation is getting worse and worse and worse. This is the thing. No, the schools don't look like us. When I was on the Northeast side, I joined the PTA. Mama Linda, no, my wife passed 15, 16 years. I was a single dad. I went to that school every day and donated my time because black men were not there. They were not there in administration. They were not there in body. So I tried to motivate black and brown men, hey, come up here and do some hall duty. Keep an eye, because guess what? Your child, the studies show, because guess what children are going to the schools and see? They're listening to their mom. When they have a black female teacher, no disrespect to female educators, because they've held the fort. But they're seeing the same thing they're seeing at home. There are no black male administrations. The closest thing we got was Patterson and Haywood as vice principals and stuff like that. Donald McClure was a principal. I'm 47 years old. I've been blessed and highly favored to survive gang culture, drugs, an all-out melanated man genocide, but I'm still here. I had a place on the hill I called it the Big House because it mimicked the house. I wanted children to come in and feel comfortable. Hey, man, tell us what's going on. Not snitching because we know we got a code, but they need to have an environment that they're comfortable with. Yes, there need to be more men. And then going back to the knowledge that we're giving these children, they need to know how to put something in the ground and come back up with it. Cultivating things. Kemet. Going back to the origins of our people. That's what the problem is. We throwing more money at these public school systems. I don't care if it's public, charter, whatever. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. If we want to, they say one definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Last thing, there is no community and cultural accountability. We don't hold our leaders responsible, whether they're political or community leaders. They just out here running them up. They make all these promises, whether political or community, and then when they get their money and they get their election, they get their seat. You don't see from them, you don't hear them, you can't get them on the phone, and that's all of them. I done dealt with them. I've been over here 47 years. He can tell you, anybody that know me, know where I was at. They stole that building from me, straight up. But that's okay, though, because the Most High has a plan. And I'm just going to lead with this. I guarantee you, this is not working. This ain't going to work. It's insane for us to continue to think that we can throw more money at a system that is built by them, controlled by them, mandated by them, and we think it's going to work for our children. Prison to the school to prison pipeline.
Thank you. Period. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
My name, do I need to stand?
Yeah, great.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Taylor. I am not from San Antonio. And it's a pleasure to be here to listen to you all. I have my own college, and we are here to help. We came to San Antonio to help. We are helping in Atlanta, Georgia. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. We're in Orlando, Florida, because it's everywhere. It is not just San Antonio. I am from St. Louis, Missouri. I graduated from Sumner High School. But I want you to know this, my friends and my family. We got to work together as a community. Homeschool, I got you. Time has changed. What we used to do, Mama Linda, I'm a Linda too, we don't do no more. We have to go with the change. Are y'all with me today? And I'm not going to preach to you, but I'm just going to tell you what's happening. No, we do not have a lot of the black males in the schools. I don't see that. Money does not solve everything. No, it does not. It solves some things. But what we have to do, the goal is what I'm saying again, is working in the community. We're here to help. The reading is sad. The math is sad. Our children, it's technology. It's okay with technology once in a while. But the homeschooling is not going to always get it because guess what? Our parents have to be educated. I'm proud of the ones that can do it. But running away from America is not going to do it. We have to work together in the community. And that's all. I don't want to keep, because I got a lot to say, but I'm not going to do that. But yes, I'm here. We are a college. We're here to help our students to read more. I've seen a lot of tears, but we can do this together as a community.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
One last question. Yes, ma'am.
Most of the resources that is allocated for partnerships like the nonprofits and all organizations that you partnership comes from legislators, comes from the people that you vote for. My name is Carla Joy Cisco, and I understand that we have to elect the right people to get those resources to the community. And in District 2, only 10% of the people that are registered to vote come out and vote. That school board, they're elected people. That city council person that doesn't answer your phone calls, they're elected people. So in addition to everything else that we are doing as a community, there is one leg that we are missing, and that's us getting out there and getting the people. You know what just happened? 4 black judges in our community lost their seat. And why? Because only 10% of the voters in this district came out to vote. So I want to encourage you, if you believe in all the other legs that allows our community, businesses, schools, nonprofit, all of those other partnerships, we better get elected officials in there. The primary is over. Now the general election, and in some cases runoffs are coming up. We better be out there voting. You better take 10 people to the polls with you, because if you believe that that doesn't matter, none of the resources are going to come for us to be able to do the things that we want to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We're going to give, well, we run a short on time. We're going to give the panel time to give final thoughts. Yes, sir.
I need more time.
You had it.
You know,
We got to follow up. We got to follow up.
All
Make sure
right.
we all come to the follow-up
Okay,
meeting.
because I'll tell you, the snippets don't get it for me. Okay, we got to get down to the nitty-gritty. Okay, and first we've got to educate ourselves on what the educational infrastructure is. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I think we all agree that community engagement is power. Yes, it is. And you know, Brother Muhammad, you meeting those families, we know this, and research shows it. The most valuable person in the classroom is the teacher. Okay? The most success a teacher can have is through their relationships with the students. Okay? And then we have the school leader who allows now our teachers to do the things they need to do to build those relationships. Because also now we're dealing with issues of concern for safety, accusations, and everything else. We think the schoolhouse is friendly and let everybody in, but that ain't true. That ain't true, okay? So for me, as the elected official of this area, District 120, I'd love to have an educational initiative that focuses on how we fix the problem, or let me say this, improve
That's right.
student outcomes so that our community can own success academically, okay? And Brother Muhammad, I knew you weren't against public, okay? So I never thought that for a second. I never thought it, okay? I'm a big believer in alternatives. When the Gervin Center started, and see, this is before I was an educator, I didn't know alternatives meant alternative school. We didn't start at the George Gervin Academy. We started as the Building Alternatives Charter School. I didn't want a traditional teacher in the building. Now, I've since modified my thinking, okay? Because you need a good mix of both, non-traditional and traditional, okay? So for me, when we talk about what we do for African American children, we've got to step it up for sure. But we've also got to be realistic about the capacity that we currently have and to build the capacity that we need to accomplish the goals that we want to. As we're in the modern age, okay, we do have to reimagine what we do. And that reimagining, we can fight the system all we want, okay? But I'm a big believer. If there's a building, I'm going to get in it. Now, if I'm not allowed in the front door, I'm going to go to the side door, the back door, a window, the roof, or the slab. But I'm going to get in, okay? And to me, that's the fortitude we have to have, is to recognize we do have a challenge. But let's stop fighting the system, and let's start looking at how the system can work for us and how we use the system to be able to make sure our kids get the best. I'm not for leaving the country. I was born in America. I was born free. I ain't going no doggone where, okay? I'm staying right here. And what I'm going to do as an elected official is make sure that I'm putting forth legislation that allows our kids to thrive. But I must say this, and this is to Carla Joy's statement, is this. When you're in the minority, the majority rules. It's 62 on my side, 88 on the other side. And most of them got their kids in private school. Okay? So they're not worried about the public system. They're not invested. But here's the downside. Our folks are not getting involved. Why aren't we on school boards? Why aren't we in the curriculum committees? Why aren't we in the decision-making seats? The availability is there.
That's right.
We just need to step up. But here's the other part, and I will personally own this. We've got to start educating people on the roles that they can play. Because a lot of people think to be successful in the classroom as a teacher, you got to be a genius. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay? People think being smart. Y'all know our kids think being smart is a nerd. Being smart is a negative. So a lot of our kids dumb themselves down because they want to be accepted. We've got to change that narrative and change that myth. So together, changing our mindset, developing a system that works within the system and outside of the system, and being committed to the cause by putting the time in. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Brother Malik.
Yes, solutions. So holding ourselves accountable first. Again, like I said earlier, it's very difficult for somebody to respect you or me when we don't respect ourselves. So that's number one, making sure we do the very best we can. I think we're approaching 78%, close to 80, out of wedlock children in our community. So that right there should let us know the value of the public schools, whether it's charter or traditional public. What I mean by value is if the school can stay open till 8 o'clock, 7:30, the after school aspect of it, a lot of the problems that exist to perpetuate that would shut down. Now that's the political side. That's why we got to be involved, that side. So we need to start at home, whatever we can, and with technology, whatever you don't know, you can know. Right. So as far as you not knowing, that's one thing, but you can use many opportunities for you to find out why. And if you don't know something, find somebody that do know something, and we have to collaborate to make it happen. That's on the personal side. Inside the school, whether your child is in public, private, or charter, you still responsible for them. I'll just tell you matter-of-factly what I know and some other educators know, and I know you've heard and probably seen. Just because your child's report card says 89 does not mean that is a real 89. Have you ever noticed that everybody's passing all year long, and then it's not till the STAR test that all of a sudden they don't pass, and that a parent going, wait a minute, this report card said my child was on an AB honor roll all year. What you mean they didn't pass STAR? Because as the parents, which is why I looked at the flyer and I say, oh yeah, I need to be there. If it means that, is it the children failing? No, it's us that's failing. We are the ones responsible. So be overly involved, communicate with your child's teacher if they're in public, private, or charter, and make sure that you understand that yes, they go to school, but it's your responsibility as a parent to make sure the school doing what the school's supposed to do. So that's school. So we got home, we got school. Now, after school, recreation centers, when I was growing up, man, they was everywhere. Yep. It was all kind of programs and things to do to stay out of trouble. We still found trouble, but that's beside the point. The point was that there was places to go. The YMCA, David Scott YMCA, we still walk from the Wheatley course up to the David Scott YMCA. You had all of these things that children could do. Nowadays, it's not necessarily so. So that big gap is that gap between the time school is out and 7 o'clock p.m. That's what's really killing us. It's not the school time. Think about it. If I'm poor at home and my electricity go off, I'm going to a school where the electricity's on. Mm-hmm. If I don't have nothing in my refrigerator at home, I'm at least going to eat breakfast and lunch at the school. So we really got to understand the benefits of the school, but know where the weaknesses are, and we fill those gaps. But we're losing in that after school. Now, I don't know about SAISD, but I know all around the country when I travel, they're mandated that the schools have to close after school is out. You can't even open up. If I wanted to do some work on a Wednesday and invite your children to come to the school to do free tutoring, they don't even let teachers do that anymore. Schools shut down on weekends. You don't, if you wanted to go and provide free tutoring, you can. That's why places like this is so important, because if I'm a teacher in SAISD, I'm sure I can get with Mama Linda and we work out some time and we can make it happen. But those are the 3 solutions that I would like to give us, because if we start there, and the 4th one would just be what everybody said, we got to collaborate, we got to grab arms and hold together and not let go, so that we can be united in this front on education.
Thank you.
I'll be honest. It's very frustrating that we're still talking about this shit 40 years later. It's so frustrating. Again, growing up Wheatley Courts, we had the programs and everything. I don't know where they went, but so there's a thing in here. We're talking about a lot of cans. We can't homeschool. We can't create our own institutions. We can't come together. It's the willpower that has been strategically suffocated over decades. That willpower isn't there anymore. The willpower is here in this room. But again, that's the 10%. That's the small minority of what's already a minority. And so it's not my job. I mean, I could leave. I could have left San Antonio a long time ago. I could have found some community that, is thriving or whatever. But who am I leaving behind? That willpower isn't there. Folks can do all the things that we talked about, but the willpower isn't there. So it's my job to now, how do I say this, build up that willpower within the youth that are being left alone by their guardians. We got a lot of parents that are just absent. So when we talk about parents taking accountability, they don't give a shit about accountability. That's the struggle right there. I remember when I came back and I was tutoring, mentoring, and yelling at the school board, everybody would say, well, it's the parents. It's not the school, it's the parents. I'm like, the parents aren't there. So what the hell are we going to do? We just going to continue saying it's the parents like we did for decades now? We have to take that accountability on our own for those that aren't going to take it for themselves. That's very unfortunate. And I know that's not what you want to hear. I know that sounds stupid, but that's all I got right now. I'm sorry. That's
reality. You said reality. Well, this has been such a powerful conversation. Thank you all for coming. This what community needed, right? Solutions. Follow up. Brother Andar, Brother Chris, what's the follow-up?
I want to thank everyone for coming out. Let's give our panelists a round of applause. Let's give our moderator a round of applause. And, of course, give yourselves a round of applause. And coming here, we know that this is a very, very serious topic, and that's an understatement. Because we see, as Brother Malik stated earlier, the education of this world is death. And we're all saying the same things. So the follow-up is April the 7th. April the 11th, excuse me. All right, so April 11th, everyone with the spirit of what I heard, let's come out. Let's sit at the table. Leave your egos outside in the parking lot. And let's collectively come together and put everything that was shared this morning together. We must understand prioritization. Every one of us is saying the same thing, but what can we do first that builds to the second, the third, and the fourth? Islam, as we're taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is mathematics. This plus minus divided by this equals this. So this is how we have to move as a community. So again, give yourselves a round of applause.
Thank you for watching Texas in Color. Please tune in every Wednesday at 11 a.m. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so you'll be notified each and every time we go on live.